It was a day like any other for Reggie Shaw. He was on his usual drive to work, a drive he took many times before. He felt familiar with it and he also felt very comfortable. A few seconds later, there will be one truck, two cars destroyed, and two people's death. Reggie Shaw caused the death of two NASA scientists on September 22nd of 2006 by using his cell phone and driving at the same time. My subject today is how our minds and our lives can improve by reading 15 minutes per day. The story of Reggie Shaw is tragic. Sadly, it is merely a reflection of our daily lives, of our current obsession to multitask, our illusion that technology can help us to get more than one thing done at the same time. Yes, it is true. We can play music in our computers and use the document word processor at the same time without experiencing any interruption. Sadly, we forget it's technological devices the ones doing the jobs and multitasking, not our brains. According to Forbes online magazine, multitasking decreases our productivity by 40%, and not only that, it also lowers our IQ. These facts also tend to be universally agreed upon among the scientific community. In addition, the activities in which we are spending most of our time are in technological devices. Now, I used to feel attacked and a little bit annoyed when someone will, start complaining about nowadays how much time we spend on our computers and our cell phones. I used to think that the way I spend my time is no one else's business but mine. However, according to Dr. Greenfield from the book Deadly Wandering, using technological devices can be highly addictive and can diminish our attention span. He says it's in a sense a narcotic. Even the smallest click of a device gives a little rush, a tiny dopamine squirt. Hit a key and something happens. It is a fact that every time we spend less and less time in each application and we just switch from one window to another looking for stimulation. A 2012 report from Symantec, a company that builds software to block computer viruses, found that 60% of emails is spam. In other words, junk, useless. However, we get excited every time our devices rings and vibrates, letting us know we have a new one. And that is because the more junk text messages and emails we receive, the more addictive it becomes. It's sort of built like a slot machine. We keep pushing the leverage, we keep checking and checking, hoping for a tiny reward. I even think and compare it to Facebook pages and how we keep scrolling the same way we keep, pushing the lever in a slot machine. Fortunately for us, the solution is simple. Focus on one thing at a time. Going back on our roots, by doing activities like reading 15 minutes per day can improve our focus greatly. It allows us to exercise our brain by doing activities without a stimulation. Reading can be incredibly beneficial for many aspects of our lives, but most importantly, our minds. It is no secret that the more we read, the more we keep our minds strong. Now, some people may argue that books are expensive, they're hard to get, and when am I going to put them? But there are many solutions. For example, number one, we can go to the library. Number two, we can buy used books for a fraction of the price. And after we're done, we can even resell them back to the bookstore and make more money. Although I will never do that because I'm a hoarder, but you could do that. Number three, we can borrow them from friends and family. Number four, if we're desperate, churches are always giving Bibles away. Even though it will, limit our choices to only one book, we will certainly get one. And number five, there are online libraries, and I must admit they have incredibly large databases with lots of books in there. However, I will recommend reading from a book rather than a screen because it's better for your eyes, but you do you. Imagine a future where stimulation is necessary to do any activity, where our children are no longer impressed by lecture and imagination, but only from graphic creation. In a poll made by Homes and Gardens, the company asked 2,030 individuals ages from 23 to 62 if they preferred a book or the movie interpretation, and the book won. And that is because when we watch the interpretation from a book, We limit our imagination to the possibilities of someone else's mind and the movie's budget. Luckily for us, we don't need millions of dollars to imagine a dragon in our minds because imagination is free. So why only 15 minutes? Why not less or more? Well, 15 minutes seem to be a magic number, and most people are comfortable with it. However, we can always read more, especially if we get swept away by the book story. Or if we read less, I don't think there is such a thing like a book police coming to get us and put us in jail. However, if we do this every day, it will soon become a habit and form part of our daily lives with no effort at all. We must counteract our attention span growing shorter by doing activities that allows us to exercise our memories and brains. We must not let our minds depend on stimuli. Besides the benefits just mentioned before, there is an added bonus. We learn from reading. We can travel to places we've never been. We can get inspired by beautiful stories of bravery and fearlessness. Or maybe we can get a book in a subject we've been always passionate about, like origami, for example. So what are we waiting for? Let's go get our hands in a beautiful book with bright and colorful pages to light up our souls by reading 15 minutes per day.